Video title: What happens if you put too much wood glue? Every woodworker knows that wood glue is one of the most important tools in the shop. It holds our projects together, keeps joints strong, and can make the difference between furniture that lasts a lifetime and one that falls apart in a few months. But one of the biggest questions beginners face is this: what happens if you put too much wood glue? Today, I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you over-apply glue, why it can actually weaken your projects, and the right way to use it for perfect results every time. When you squeeze a big puddle of glue onto your joint, it might feel like you're making it stronger. After all, more glue should mean more holding power, right? But in reality, the opposite happens. Too much glue creates a thick layer that prevents the wood fibers from bonding directly to each other. The glue ends up sitting on the surface instead of penetrating into the wood, and over time, that joint is more likely to fail. Another issue with too much glue is squeeze out. When you clamp the pieces together, the excess glue oozes everywhere. Not only is this messy, but it can stain the wood, ruin the finish, and create hours of extra sanding and scraping. If you've ever finished a project only to see ugly glue spots show up under the stain, chances are you used too much. Let's do a simple test. I'll glue 2 boards together with way too much glue and another set with the right amount. As we clamp them, you'll notice the first joint has glue pouring out all over the place. The second one has just a thin, even bead along the seam. After letting them dry, I'll break them apart and show you the difference. The properly glued joint will tear wood fibers when broken, meaning the wood itself failed before the glue bond. The over-glued joint, however, often breaks clean at the glue line, showing that the adhesive never really bonded correctly. Now, let's talk about how much glue you actually need. A thin, even coat that fully covers the surface is perfect. You want full coverage, but not a swimming pool of glue. Spread it with a brush, a roller, or even your finger if you're careful. The goal is to create maximum wood-to-wood contact with just enough glue to fill the gaps and form a thin layer in between. Another important tip is clamping pressure. If you over-apply glue and then clamp too tightly, you're squeezing almost all of the glue out of the joint. Ironically, you've used too much and still ended up starving the joint of adhesive. That's why controlling both the amount of glue and the clamp pressure is the secret to a perfect joint. One more problem with too much glue is drying time. A thick layer of glue in the joint doesn't dry evenly. The surface hardens, but the inside can remain soft for hours or even days. This weakens the joint and can cause creep, where the pieces slowly shift out of alignment over time. With the right amount of glue, drying is faster, more even, and much stronger. So what's the bottom line? More glue does not mean more strength. The strongest joints come from good surface prep, the right amount of glue spread evenly, and proper clamping. If you're new to woodworking, don't worry about applying too little. Worry about spreading what you do apply. A little glue goes a long way if you use it properly. The next time you're in the shop, try this experiment yourself. Glue up a joint with too much glue and another with the right amount. Once you break them apart, you'll see with your own eyes that careful gluing always beats drowning the joint. And once you master this, your projects will be cleaner, stronger, and more professional. If this video helped you avoid a common woodworking mistake, hit that like button, share it with a fellow woodworker, and subscribe for more woodworking tips that will take your skills to the next level.